Thank you very much, honorable members, members of the staff, and all colleagues. We have come before this portfolio committee today, portfolio committees today. I'll first go ahead and read the invitation that we wrote to Emma, as well as the Ministry of Mines, on the invitation to come to this portfolio committee meeting. The Joint Portfolio Committee on Mines and Mining Development and Environment and Tourism invitation to the meeting. The above matter refers. The above mentioned joint committees are currently considering a petition from the Center for Natural Resources Governance, CNRG, regarding alleged unsustainable mining practices in Mutare. You are therefore invited to a meeting on the 27th of May, which is a Monday, at 10:20 in the committee room number 10. The Ministry of Environment, Climate and Wildlife has also been invited to the same meeting to come and respond to the issues raised in the petition. I suppose the Ministry of Environment is represented by Emma. The purpose of this meeting is for you to update the joint committees on the policy position regarding the mining practices in Mutare. The petition in question is attached herewith for your perusal. So at this point, I would want to invite those who are going to be giving oral evidence to kindly take oath. So our PEMSEC, you know your delegation, those who are going to be giving oral evidence, they may kindly take oath before we get into your submissions. Thank you.
I, Fungakunaka, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Mr. Fungakunaka, your surname is Kunaka.
Kunaka is my surname.
Oh, okay, thank you. My apologies for the first reference, thank you.
I, Charles Dawa, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
I, Michael Mutare, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Maybe your PMD money talent video.
Thank you.
I, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. Mr. Pemsek, is that all from your team?
The guy from Legal, Ulekarano. Maybe that will be the last.
I, Lishon Movengerano, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. May I invite those from Emma to also take oath?
I, Father Mutare Mandisi, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
I, Maxwell Mature, swear that the evidence that I will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you very much all for taking your oath. May I just seek clarification from our team from Emma? Is anyone coming from Manicaland, or we are both from the headquarters office?
We are all from the office.
Thank you very much. The people, our case actually from Emma. When a commander visits an area, he is more versed when he is informed of happenings by a section commander of the area he will have visited. In person, is a malpractice in Manicaland, in Mutare River, and we don't have anyone from there, from Manicaland, Mutare in particular, the district of Mutasa. A man who sees the sun rising, 12 o'clock, midday, and evening, and then good night. The ministry, we are quite happy, co-chair, they are from head office. But they have brought with them the administrator of the province of Manicaland, pertaining mining, who is the provincial mining director. Questions about mining in Mutare, the PMD will answer. But maybe on satellite could be, it would have been right and wise to bring in a person, a foot soldier, not admin, but we just highlighted.
Thank you very much, Kochi, for highlighting such an important point. And I'm sure our team from EMA have taken note of that whenever Parliament of Zimbabwe invites you for a specific issue, we ought to also bring the person who is overseeing that portfolio. So I hope we're going to have all the answers from you. So over to you, Mr. Kunaka, to make your submissions. If you have a PowerPoint presentation, we are gifted here, we're blessed to have our screen. So if you want to make a PowerPoint presentation, you're most welcome. You can just connect the device and they don't have. Okay, it's fine, you may go ahead.
Thank you very much. It's a very good morning once again to our chairs. And then good morning to all our honorable members from both portfolio committees. Yes, coming from the Minister of Mines, we want to appreciate upfront this initiative taken by the Joint Committee to invite us to discuss this specific issue of the environment and what will be taking place in Manicaland Day. The Honorable Chair, as Ministry, we stand guided by yourselves, and we also believe that when stakeholders come through, especially when they petition, it's all for the good of the country. And our Ministry does want to take seriously this approach from stakeholders when they petition and they know where to go, and Parliament is an important entry point. Chairman, we received this invitation, and we did take note of the petition that has come, and we do value it very much. We took time to read it and understand it. That's why we felt we needed to come even with our provincial director, because the issues zero on a particular geographical area in our country. But having said that, Chairman, we take specific note that the portfolio committee, joined as you are, you wanted to understand the policies, the policy position regarding the mining practices in Mutare. And our endeavor to touch on that as I try to make my introductory remarks. Chairman, for a start, when we are looking at the mining policy, we don't regionalize it. Our mining policy is universal, it's countrywide. So what we are going to present as the architecture in terms of policy is speaking what should be maintained across the country, in any area of the country. So to start off with, we are guided in whatever we do in mines and mining development by the Act of Parliament that we have, is the Mines and Minerals Act. This act, as my colleagues might know, it was promulgated way back in the early 60s, and we are currently in the process of trying to amend it. It has taken some time, but we are trying to come up with an amendment which will be a sharper on the environment, our policy is that every miner who is coming on board here, who is going to the ground, is an environmental impact assessment. The environmental impact assessment is something that applies when we are looking at our small scale to medium term and even large scale operations. In other words, when we give you title and when we want you to start mining, it's a must that you have an environmental impact assessment carried out. That assessment is there to inform as to the suitability of your mining plan, is there to inform as to the suitability of the strategies that you think you will employ to manage better the environment. And on this one, we work hand in glove with Emma, and we are glad that the portfolio committees have jointly invited Emma to this meeting. So environmental impact assessment is a requirement, honorable chairs, and all our miners are supposed to have that. When we are looking at the small scale and artisanal, we also expect you to inspect the requirement that you have something that speaks to the environment and better management. In the case of artisanal, we expect you to have an environmental management whole plan. It's different from an environment impact assessment, but it's an environmental management plan that you ought to have. So there's no one who is exempt from speaking to the tenets of managing the environment when they are coming into the sector. Everyone is bound to have that. Then I move on to indicate to the portfolio committees here that it is also government policy that riverbed mining stands banned in the country. And when I say banned, remember earlier when I said this is universal across the country. We started with this ban, and at cabinet level in 2013, cabinet took a position that because of the sensitivities in the riverbeds, we needed to protect the rivers. So government took a position to ban riverbed mining. But I'll come to qualify that when I speak specifically to Mutare what will be happening on the ground. Then this ban by cabinet in 2013 was followed by a statutory instrument which was promulgated in 2014, again emphasizing the ban on riverbed mining. We revisit the ban on riverbed mining in 2018, but as we speak, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members of Parliament, riverbed mining stands banned. Of course, when I said I'll come back to this, there are some exceptions. Out of the ban, there was some decision to allow a few of the operators in the mining sector to undertake riverbed mining. And that riverbed mining, honorable chairs and members of parliament, it was allowed for a specific reason. We expect that the players there come not just to do mining, but also to rehabilitate the rivers, to desilt the rivers, so that the rivers have a longer life, and we have the waters flowing for the benefit of our communities, for the benefit of everyone who needs that resource. So riverbed mining was restricted to a few companies, and I'll go on to indicate one of the companies which was allowed to do riverbed mining. The other policy stance that I want to indicate, Honorable Chair, is that of responsible mining. It is a call by government, even at the highest level and throughout cabinet, that every player in mining, in particular the operators there, the miners themselves, practice responsible mining. Responsible mining, what simply says, we are talking about respecting our laws as Zimbabwe, be it in the environment sector, be it labor, be it in this fiscal space where we talk of taxation and everything else. That's responsible mining. And it is our call, honorable chairs, that for all players that are in the sector, they do practice mining responsibly. Of course, if we have challenges in that regard, as ministry, we have structures which are there to enforce, we have structures which are there to inspect, and this is why I have a colleague, my left here, the Chief Government Mining goes across the country to inspect our mining operations and to see what is taking place, even in our hotspots. We're supposed to be doing that. Of course, resources permitting. So when we are looking at this particular issue, honorable chairs, we take note that the petition is saying there's something going wrong in Mutare. And we will be the first to agree that there are instances where we have seen a lot of illegal mining taking place. It's not just illegal, but also it's being done irresponsibly. And we will come back to analyze this to say what is happening. But at this stage, Honorable Chair, I want to indicate that when we're looking at the riverbed mining, I've said there are some exceptions that we took in terms of mines in this government. And I want to speak specifically on an operator who is on the ground in Manikali. As government, we partnered Belarus in a project which we call Zim Goldfields. And I think in the petition, there's reference to practices or operations of Zim Goldfields. I want to confirm upfront that we have a partnership which is coming under the name Zim Goldfields. And what this is a mining type of called a special grant. It's not the only special grant that this company has, but I'm making reference to this particular special grant, which is in the area which covers Mutare River. So under this special grant, Zim Goldfields, whom I'm saying is a partnership between government and Belarus, has rights to explore. It also has rights to mine. But in this area, which I said is riverbed. But it was a conscious decision which was taken by government to get this partnership, because we wanted to ensure that we have some operator who is doing it officially to try to desilt the Mutare River and also other rivers in Manikali. So I want to confirm upfront that, as was pointed out in the petition, we do have an operator, which is this company which I'm referring to as Zim Goldfields. It's undertaking mining operations there, but it is our expectation that it has to be doing that under environmental conscious practices, where they are not degrading, where they are not wasting the situation. I'll come later to indicate where this problem is coming, which has been complained about. Perhaps the chair, let me stop here and say perhaps this is what I could say in terms of the policy position. Riverbed mining stands banned, but we have this exception where we have Zim Goldfields, which is authorized to be in the area under a special grant. I want to submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kunaka, for your submissions. Are you going to invite any of your colleagues to make any submissions before I move on to Emma? Not for now. Thank you very much for actually highlighting the policy position that speaks to mining. But as you read the petition, I'm sure most of the questions will be asked by members. There are a lot of allegations that are coming in into the petition, whereby the different companies are also mining. So I thought you were going to speak about the different other companies that were mentioned in the petition. But since you said you're done with your presentation, I'll move on to Emma, then allow members of parliament to then ask questions. Thank you, Emma. Yes, please proceed. Honorable Chair, just a moment. Please go ahead, Mr. Kunaka.
Chairman, I said my intervention was speaking to the aspect of policy, and that's what I have summarized. And then I was going to ask for an opportunity to explain what is obtaining on the ground, if you are allowed, Chair.
Thank you very much.
So when we are looking at this company that we are talking about, it is running a special grant which is covering the Mutare area. And this company for now is seized with exploration. company may not be operating alone on the ground. We expect that anyone which is who they are going to contract, they are going to do that in a transparent way, and therefore we expect them to come to us when they are contracting. But what is happening on the ground, Honorable Chair, and I'm informed from the visits that my chief government mining engineer is undertaking, there are other players who are in the area who are undertaking mining. And I want to submit upfront that our conclusion is these people who are undertaking mining there are not permitted. They are not doing it formally. In other words, they are not registered miners. So we've also even looked at this and discovered that even on the ground, we have locals in the area who are also undertaking mining across the board in the area. And it's a very difficult issue to manage because here is a community which is on the ground, is localized, and by the end of the day, they are undertaking this mining. So we have seen a lot of illegal activities that are taking place, and this is where we conclude that the illegal activities and the destruction of the environment is coming in. It's not an accusation, Honorable Chairs and members of Parliament, but it's fact of life that we have the informal miners who are in the area, who are there day in, even at night, undertaking mining. We have seen on the ground some big holes they've been digging. We have seen them in the rivers, and we even have pictures which are confirming that there's a lot that is taking place in the area. So it is our submission, Honorable Chair, that the problem that we are talking about is as a result of the informal activities, illegal activities that are taking place. And when we are looking at this as ministry, we expect that these are areas which we need to work hand in glove with law enforcement agencies so that we are able to condemn the issue and the problem which is on the ground. And I think we could ask, with your permission, the chief government mining engineer to fill us in terms of the practice he sees on the ground. And also with your permission, the provincial mining director can also hear your voice in terms of what we discovered is taking place on the ground.
Thank you very much, Pensek. You may go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Chairs, and members of Parliament. What we found on the ground after having received the petition, I went on the ground with the team, found that there's a lot of mining that is happening. At the moment, the registered companies are not operating the Zim gold fields. It's not operating because they are waiting for their renewal of the EIA. So they are not working. But if you go to the Mutare River, it's flooded with the people who are mining. And also, those are all locals. They don't come, there's also people, the locals who have got their fields, which were meant for agriculture, which have been turned into mining fields. They are now charging people to come and just dig a hole. There's no one who's supervising that, whether it's safe or not. Just mine and you pay your dues to the owner of the field. The areas are fenced, and you have to go through there. Some of that is those pictures that have circulated. You find there are people in the river. Then there are people in the fenced area which originally were meant to be fields, but now they are mining areas. No one is worrying about the safety or the environmental issues. We have asked them to be stopped, but still we still have problems. People are still coming in and do the mining, and that is disturbing. If you actually on the ground, especially in the Mutare River, you will find some of the holes that have been dug right in the middle of the river. They are so dangerous. We really want to look at that twice. We just think that anything can happen anytime, then we lose all those people. We need support from other departments to assist in removing those people, so that maybe they can be assisted to become groups, organized groups. But the other problem is that they are working in areas that belong to in claims that are for registered companies, which makes it a problem that someone is working in your area when he's not supposed to be there. I think for now that's my submission.
Thank you very much, Engineer. Are you also confirming the blasting that is also happening there? If I heard you correctly, just to clarify.
Yes, this the illegal.
Speaking to the mic, yeah.
Sorry. These illegal miners are just blasting on their own, but there is a company called the Sign of Africa that is doing service mining. That is registered to do service mining, which is one of the companies that is being complained about. But in the petition, it's not very clear. It's one that was being complained about that they just blast, but from on our inspections, we found that they are doing what is within the law. There was an incident that happened in 2022 that I collected from there. Some Chinese national who just went on to blast and that damaged a wood pen, not a house, and they resolved the issue amicably. But that Chinese guy has since been taken back to China. Couldn't be interviewed for that. But it was, I was told it happened in 2022. That is the only incident where blasting operations affected the houses and other things.
Thank you very much for your submission. I think because of time, let's move on to Emma. Then we can open the question and answer session. Please, over to you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Minister of Mines, for the report on the issues related to Mutare River. Maybe what I will do, I will start with the policy position in terms of the legal framework, in terms of mining, and then I will talk briefly about alluvial mining, although part of it has already been talked about by PS Naga. So, as Emma, we have the Environmental Management Act, Chapter 2027. That's the principal act that we enforce. We also have other statutory instruments that relates to environmental issues. For example, Statutory Instrument 6 of 2007 that talks about effluent and solid waste management. We also have SI 7 of 2007 that relates to environmental impact assessments and ecosystems protection. We also have SI 258 of 2018 that relates to management of hazardous substances. We also have SI 10 of 2007 that relates to hazardous waste. So in terms of the EMA Act, it has section 97 that talks about environmental impact assessments. This is read together with the first schedule. So the Environmental Management Act has got the first schedule that has got prescribed projects. What it means is there are projects that are prescribed or listed that are supposed to undergo through an environmental impact assessment and be issued with the EIA certificate before the project commences. So this also applies to mineral mining, mineral prospecting, quarrying, and ore processing. So the subject matter also relates to a project that is prescribed that require an environmental impact assessment to be undertaken. So really the purpose of the environmental impact assessment is to ensure the project is acceptable socially and environmentally, finding or anticipating the impacts of the project on the environment, offering mitigation measures so that at least as the project is being implemented, there are mitigation measures. So as the agency, we issue certificates for projects that would have undergone the EIA process. And then PS Kunaga talked about the small-scale miners. So small-scale miners as well, they are supposed to be registered by Ministry of Mines. They also undergo the EMP process. So in terms of the law, we are also mandated to do what is called biannual audits. These are monitoring audits for basically to ensure that the proposed environmental management plans that are within the environmental environmental assessments are adhered to, and then corrective measures are supposed to be taken wherever there are violations. So in relation to the subject matter of alluvial mining, I think PS has talked about it, that this is an activity that started long way back, 2011, in almost all the 8 rural provinces, and our experiences and lessons with that such mining activities, they really led to water pollution, siltation of river channels, and also disruption of even other livelihood projects. In other instances, there is also damming of the rivers, meaning the communities that are downstream are also affected in terms of water supply. So due to the impacts that are related to alluvial mining, there was a ban that was done in 2013, which was supported by SI 92 of 2014, as alluded by PS Funaka. And then that was reviewed in 2018 with Special Instrument 258 of 2018. This then allowed alluvial mining, but with conditions where the processing plants, the slimes dam, they are supposed to be located at least 500 meters away from the highest flood level of rivers. But it did allow riverbed mining within the river channel. So we also had similar experiences in terms of challenges, community outcries, and other stuff. So this also led to another ban that was also talked about in 2020. There was also a cabinet decision to ban alluvial mining in September 2020 that was alluded by PS Funaka. And then there was also a review of the ban by cabinet to also allow pilot projects in terms of alluvial mining. So this was also followed by a statutory instrument that was statutory instrument 104 of 2021, which was promulgated 30 April 2021. So it allows alluvial mining, but only after somebody has got a written consent from the Minister of Environment in terms of Section 3, subsection 1, and 3, subsection 2 of Statutory Instrument 104 of 2021. So what it means is even if the company has got a title from Ministry of Mines, as what was alluded, the person has also to get consent from the Minister of Environment, and then that company has also to undergo the environmental impact assessment. So for Zim Goldfields, I think PS has also talked about that. It's one of the companies that falls in the category where it was allowed to do pilot alluvial mining after a cabinet decision. So Zim Goldfields started their operations in Mutare River in July 2021. And at that time, they had an environmental impact assessment, but the environmental impact assessment currently is expired. It expired 10 January 2024. So currently, Zim Goldfields does not have an environmental impact assessment certificate. What it means is if they want to pursue the project, they have to align themselves with the provisions of Statutory Instrument 104 of 2021, which requires written consent from the Minister of Environment, and then it has to undergo a fresh environmental impact assessment, because this one, it was a pilot project, and the pilot project has since expired. So we also took note of the complaints that were raised by communities as alluded, that there were complaints from the communities, when mining activities are being undertaken in the river systems, the issues of pollution of the river systems, where other communities are also dependent on. So it was also noted during our inspections and audits that for sure Zim Goldfields was subcontracting. They were the main company with an EIS certificate for pilot alluvial mining, but they were also subcontracting. So there were also numerous companies during their time of operation that were subcontracted. So during the inspections, we also noted violations that were done by Zim Goldfields itself, even some of the subcontracted companies. I must also say that when the environmental impact assessment certificate for Zim Goldfields was issued, it was also issued with conditions of how they are supposed to operate. So during those monitoring inspections, we noted violations And Emma did issue tickets as well as what we call environmental protection orders to try and address the violations that were noted. Yes, the area, part of the areas that they mined, our last inspection that we did when they were actively mining in November and December, there was some rehabilitation and backfilling of the mined areas. So as it stands, Zim Goldfields wrote to the agency wanting to renew their EIS certificate so that they can be allowed to resume alluvial mining. But because of this provision that relates to an authorization from the Minister of Environment, we then referred the issue to the Minister of Environment. We have not yet got a response from the Minister of Environment. So what it means is after, if ever the authorization is going to be done, they are supposed to undertake a fresh environmental impact assessment. So that environmental impact assessment, that is also part of the study that is also going to talk about even public consultation. Who is affected, who is interested, what are their concerns? They also air their views. So the views of the communities are then supposed to be captured in the environmental impact assessment so that at least mitigation measures are offered. So in conclusion, I think this is what we can say for now. But of point note, as alluded by Chief Government Mining Engineer, Mutare River, even after Zim Goldfields stopped operation, there are still illegal activities that are being undertaken, even from other companies that are mechanized and also our own locals. The locals have also invaded the areas that were mined by Zim Goldfields. I think this is my submission for now. I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your submissions. And before I just invite members of parliament to ask their questions, maybe if you want to elaborate on the other mining companies, the Sino-African Eugene, because I'm sure you spoke about the Belarus company. So if you can just elaborate briefly on that one.
Unfortunately, it was not specified in the petition. So we're still trying to figure out which company would be the one which is being referred to. Because for us, in terms of the Belarusians and the other companies that are within the riverbed mining, they don't do blasting. They just do excavation and excavators. So we're still trying to find out which company, because it was not specified. But I should be able then to say if that is the company that is referred to, we can then check our records. But ideally, if it is a company that is not into alluvial, yes, it's supposed to be registered mine with the Ministry of Mines, and then also it has to undergo through the EIA process. But because it was not specific in the petition, we're still trying to figure out which company are they referring to. Because for alluvial mining, there is no blasting activities that we're taking place.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mangisi. Just maybe to correct you, yes, the Sino-Africa was mentioned in the petition, but like you said, you don't have the responses now, and even the issues of blasting, massive blasting, were also cited in the petition if you went through it, because this is the one that I'm actually holding right now. But anyway, let me invite the Honorable Co-Chair to also come in and ask the questions. Over to you, Honorable Matangira.
Thank you very much. I wanted to talk before anyway. You pardon me actually for my bed when there was no water. Anyway, my first question. Yes, the letter was written actually to both ministries, mines as well as the environmental ministry. When we talk about policy, we are not talking about a specific place. The petition is not on policy. The petition is on particular. This is what I wanted actually to highlight to the Penn State mind. Yes, Zim Gold has got a special grant. Our special grants transferable. If they are, what is supposed to be done before the transferee starts working. That's the ministry. 2, to the environmental case, witness. Yes. When any miner makes, actually it's like an environmental impact assessment, like the government joint venture is alluded to by PMC. The special grant has to have a time like how many years to special grant last. Number 1, when they applied for their EIA, how many years did they say they would be in the river, alluvial mining? Knowing that mining is money expensive. People are putting their money, their EIA actually is like, is not forfeited. It lapses. Are people supposed to stop money, or they come and renew? What is the policy? We are talking about the river. And because there are people who are mining, hills in the petition are disappearing. Don't you also give EIAs to those that will be mining? And the signation that actually Mr. Mabu alluded to when he came to this committee jointly. Are you aware of the signation that is taking place in that particular area? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair Matangira. Over to you, Ms. Tikunaka, to respond to the pertinent issues that have been raised by the Honorable Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I want to appreciate the interventions by the Honorable Chair for the Committee, Mines and Mining Development. I think there's one issue which I may want just to clarify. When we are looking at alluvial mining, the methods of mining are really different from that of mining the reef. So there's no blasting that comes when you're talking of alluvial. So we need to allude to the fact that there could be other operators who are outside the purview of seeing gold fields who are in reef mining, and that's where the blasting might be taking place. But they equally fall under our jurisdiction in terms of monitoring and inspection. So it's an area that we can't run away from. But the issue of now the SG, maybe Chief Director, I want to respond to that. Is it transferable?
Honorable Chair, yes, perhaps let me talk about this. Mining title, a special grant. A special grant implies that the title you have been given is conditions attached to it, which is not necessarily the case of the ordinary general conditions for the mining claim. So the special grant, they are not transferable as we normally do on blocks of claims, but you apply for a session. You cede your special grants, your rights, to the person who then take over. So a special grant is only through a session that another person can assume the same area, which means all your rights would have gone to that new person who would have ceded for special grant. And special grants, as I said, they have got conditions attached to it. Because the special grant is normally given to protect or for a particular purpose. So conditions will be attached to each and every special grant, but they have a lifetime. There will be different times that can be attached on the special grant. This one has been renewed. You are allowed to renew your special grant when you have perhaps done your first phase, second phase, and there's an assessment which is done, and then it can be qualified for the renewals. I submit, Honorable Chairs.
Thank you very much for your response, but maybe the Honorable Chairperson asked specifically about the special grant for the, for the sign to say how long was it lasting for? I think this is the point.
It says they renewed, so it stays current. It's okay.
Please clarify.
The particular special grant is earlier alluded to by the permanent secretary. The special grant, the number is 6854. No, sorry, my apologies. It's 6859 in Manikali. And it will expire after its renewal on the 23rd of July 2025.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. May I also open this session for questions from the Honorable Members of Parliament. I'll first recognize Honorable Nyakuyedzwa. Just hold on, Honorable Nyakuyedzwa. Yes, Mr. Mangisi.
Thank you, Chair. I think Honorable Mutare had also asked questions related to Yema. So I thought maybe he was comfortable with that. But that's okay. I would respond to two issues that he has raised. One of the issues is the validity of environmental impact assessment certificates. So all EIA certificates, despite whether it's mining for or any other projects, the initial is valid for 2 years. That's the initial certificate for 2 years. But there are other projects which are finalized and completed. What then follows will be other operational licenses. But because mining doesn't finish, it's continuous. So renewals are then done. And renewals are done, and you are given a certificate of 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, as long as the mining operation is being undertaken. So one of the issues that we also check in terms of when we are renewing the year certificate, we also check with the validity of the mining license for Ministry of Mines, and then we also check the compliance of the company when it wants to renew. Was it complying? So, but when there are compliance issues are okay, we then renew. So this one specifically for Zimbabwe fields, the last certificate was a 1 year certificate, which I indicate that it has since lapsed. But because alluvial mining is also governed by other statutory instruments, ordinarily we would have allowed it to renew. But because they were given a pilot project to do, and the pilot project was a product of a cabinet decision, we then thought that we can't then renew an EIA certificate unless maybe the minister is consented or it has been also referred to cabinet, because it was a cabinet resolution to have a pilot project. For other mining activities, the situation is the same. The initial certificate is valid for 2 years. Thereafter, it's renewed on a yearly basis. Yearly basis, it's 12 months. So if you renew in July, it expires to another July. It's 12 months. So I think maybe the petition talks about other mining activities. It could be there, but it's mainly focused on Belarus, most of the paragraphs. So that's why we had to focus on the Belarus activities, because the petition talks mainly of subcontracted by Belarus. So we wanted to check the issues that we know that are related to Belarus. So there could be other mining activities that are happening beyond the river, like what the PS said. If there are other mining activities, yes, definitely an environmental impact assessment is supposed to be done. EIA certificates are supposed to be there. So those who are supposed to be legally on the ground, they ought to have an environmental impact assessment certificate. And on top of that, the assignment that you talked about. As EMA, we also do license importation, transportation, use, and disposal of hazardous substances. Chemicals also fall under hazardous substances. So for mining operations that are legally on the ground, they are supposed to be licensed to have a hazardous substance license for use of cyanide. This is under Statutory Instrument 258 of 2018. So there could be other mining operations, but like what Mr. Engineer has said, for alluvial mining, that we mainly focused on in the river, there is no blasting, there is no use of cyanide in for alluvial mining. But for other mining activities that are beyond the river, they could be around that use chemicals.
Maybe my follow-up actually is like maybe actually for the sake of time. My follow-up would have been that the environmental degradation that is taking place in Mutare, if you had the site of it, you have been to, and like you alluded, that actually they, once upon a time, you went in and you gave them some tickets. Because of the cabinet, actually, it's like agreement with Zim Gold, and your minister has been employed actually to write it. What did you say as an individual who is coming from HQ, not from the area?
In terms of the application was
Degradation.
Okay. Like I have alluded in the reports that I have also circulated, the issue of alluvial mining, even when it was started in 2011, we noted degradation. When it was allowed in 2018, we also noted degradation. Even though the station instruments come to try and put conditions, even the last one that allowed it 500 meters away from the river, we still noted degradation and pollution. Even the monitoring inspections that I have talked about, as we monitored the seaboard fields, we noted degradation. The evidence that I talked about of the tickets and environmental protection orders, it's an indication of violations. So definitely degradation was noted during the operations of these companies. That is submitted like that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Matangira, and thank you, Mr. Mangisi. Let me invite Honorable Nyakwezwa before I hand over the chairpersonship to Honorable Matangira. Honorable Nyakwezwa, please ask your question.
Maita basa che mzuzu wangu urikuenda kuna director wemines wa provincial director wemine college kuti ndimi munoshanda nemacompanies zuva nezuva, day in day out, ende tasanangurirwa pano napemsec naengineer wakati isi tinomubatanidzwa nezim gold field, tiri kushanda zvakanaka chaizvo, asi dambudziko riri kuzouya pane maillegal miners ava tiri kushanda navo havana kana mhosva yavari kubata, vakushanda zvakanaka chaizvo, asi vekuema vazotsanangura kuti yo zim gold field iri kusubcontracta mamwe macompanies ari kumaina ikoko, mamwe acho ndo ari kutyora mutemo. Saka hurumende ine urongwa hupi hwekumisa zvinhu zvakashata zvekukanganisa environment, zvekukanganisa dunhu, ende petition anotaura kuti iko even mvura chaiyo yakanganisika to the extent yekuti fish dzakatombofa murwizi. Saka hurumende ine urongwa hupi hwekuti macompanies amunenge muine mubatanidzwa nawo ateedze mutemo? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chabasa, Honorable Nyakwezwa. Mr. Konaka, may you kindly respond?
Thank you very much, Chair. I don't know if you allow our MD to comment, but I'll still come in.
Yes.
Please
go ahead, MD. Thank you very much.
Yes, we do have some people that have claimed to be subcontractors of zinc goldfields. However, zinc goldfields, on the other hand, is putting a disclaimer on those So the measure that we will need to take is to clear the subcontractors from the sites and have Zim Goldfields taking direct control of their special grants. Thank you.
Mazvita, ndofunga mubvunzo wabvunzwa nahonorable Nyakwiyedzwa ndewekuti imimi muri kuitawo sei kuti vacho vari kuclaima kuti the subcontractors vakwanise zveshuwa kududzira kuti vakapiwa masubcontracts neivo vacho veZim Goldfields. I think ndo mubvunzo wabvunzwa nahonorable Nyakwiyedzwa kuti muri kuita sei nevari kuclaima vacho ivavo.
Thank you. We have brought to the table three alleged contractors, but we are in the process of engaging. We've seen Goldfields, like we have said, on the other hand, have said they have not contracted the three people that are on the ground that are claiming to have been contracted. So we are in the process of engaging and perhaps the proposal will be to bring to the table both Zim Goldfields and those that are claiming to be contractors of Zim Goldfields.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam. Honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to hand over to the man who is going to steer the ship until the end of this meeting. Honorable Chair Matangira, over to you.
Thank you very much, Co-Chair. And then you haven't asked your question. You don't want actually to give us questions for yourself. So I will give you a chance of airing actually our own question actually to our two witnesses, Emma Ministries of Mines.
Thank you very much, Co-Chair. Actually, I've taken note of all the issues that they raised. That the ministry actually is in full know-how of the illegal activities that are happening on Mutare River. So I think we'll discuss that during our deliberations to say, as the ministry, they are actually aware of what has been happening, and it seems there hasn't been any action that has been taken by the Ministry of Mines to actually stop the illegal activities that have been happening in Mutare, particularly around the riverbed in question that was actually raised by the petitioner. So I've taken note that they're actually failing to uphold the illegal activities. So they would want other ministries, and also they would want the police to also come in. So I've taken note of that, which was my major concern, that you know what has been happening, the illegal activities, but as a ministry, we have failed to actually stop what has been happening in Mutare. So I've taken note of that, Honorable Chair, which was my major concern. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, it's now our right to probe. Honorable Joe.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Ndoda kuchenda PS presentation yakanapa ne kuyema. But pandisinganzwisisi PS ne team. Mune vanhu vari totangira pakuti muri government mese. Muri like Minister of Mines, Emma. Zim Gold iri kumaina yakapuwa rights neMinistry of Mines, ikapuwa rights neEMA. Then when it comes proposal renewal, amushandi muri pamwe chete reka kuti pamwe ndaunoita inspections kunoona kuti munhu ane kodzero here kuramba achimaina, zvokuona kuti pane gap ipapo kuti Ministry of Mines inenge ichiita zvinhu zvayo, Emma ichiita zvayo paside. Then when it comes pakuti makuzonorenewa, because no transactions permit SG richly valid kuside Ministry of Mines, kureva kuti vane right to mine. Then kuEmma rakadini rakaexpire, veEmma vasati varenewa, ende vakamira kuti minista vagodini vagorinwa. Saka unzwisisa kuti makatadza kuti even pavakalaisenswa muite muvape mapermits anoenderana achiexpire nguva imwe chete here. Hazvita here.
Thank you very much, Honorable Joe. I want to feel and think that actually is like the PEMSEC from the Ministry of Mines and Mining Development, as well as Emma. You can take up to maybe 3-4 questions, and then you will actually answer. Unless if you want actually to say a question comes, then you hear that, which will be. How do you want?
Chairman, you can take some more.
You can take some more. Thank you so very much. Honorable Nyati.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to believe that I heard correctly, you said only zinc gold is licensed, but there are other miners that are mining illegally. I want to find out what has stopped you from taking action against these illegal miners. As a committee, we do not understand why you are engaging an illegal person. If someone invades your home and you say you are engaging them for what? Because they don't belong there. What is stopping you from taking action against these illegal miners? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Nyati. Honorable Joe Edebeke.
Thank you very much. Ndinoda kunzwisa kuti zvinhu izvi zvichiitika kudai maminers ese iwayo ariko macompanies iwayo nemaillegal miners iwayo ariko zvezvakadaro basa chairo ratiraitwa rakakumbirwa kuti riitwe neZimgold pane raitwa here, pane zvamuri kuona here kuti izvi zvabatika, zvinobatika zvaitwa kana kuti tiri kuona zviri kudii zvakashata, uye mazviona zvakashata zviri kuitwa makaita masteps api kubatsira situation yakashata kudaro. Natenda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Joe and other members. Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. I have 2 questions. I want to, first of all, state what I probably got from the PEMSEC or someone. They were saying that much of the riverbed mining is associated with small-scale miners. But the petitioner identified a company by the name Zhu, I don't know how to pronounce it, Zhu Jin Investments. And the petitioner was claiming that it is also mining along Mutare River. So it is almost inconsistent with the evidence that we got that it's predominantly the small-scale miners. And then secondly, when the petitioner was giving evidence, there is some information that was not in the petition directly. He stated that there were some 8 or so people who were buried in some mine which collapsed. I think that we need to get
order. Honorable Member, you are digressing into issues of another day.
Okay.
Please, in your day, what we have right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Were you through? What was the question? The question ends where you were.
The first question was about that Chinese company.
Okay.
The second question was put under order. Thank you.
Thank you very much for staying guided.
Thank you, Chair. Tora nguva yakati kuenda paground uchiinspecta kutoona kuti wakutedzera here zvinofanira kunge vachiita pabasa. Uye kana maona zvisiri kunyatsobuda zvakanaka, newe mutemo unokubvumidza here kuti mustope maoperations?
Thank you very much, Honorable Karmasando. Maybe actually if you can take pie and what has been offered before you, each one takes his own dish.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Sorry, Chair, I think anonyatsopeisa kuya ndadaudza kuti pamatirezi auri kupawana maybe matirezi acho mari yacho vamwe vanogona kuti iri mari shoma vakuona sei mari yacho inokodzerera ichituya vachikosha.
Thank you very much. Who is going to be the first one? Pen say.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and I want to appreciate the intervention by Honorable Members of Parliament. Honorable Yakwezo, on the issue of what action we could take, I want to confirm that the inspectorate under the ministry is supposed to be on the ground to look at these matters. And indeed, if we find that Swim Goldfields is at the wrong end, we are supposed to take action. One action could be not to approve the SG when it comes to renewal. Another action would be to stop them from operating where they are operating. And I think we can insist and enforce that they even cancel the subcontracts which they have. But we are in discussion with Swim Goldfields as we speak. And 2 days ago, they were in the office, I think last week, they were in the office, we were discussing it. To that defense, Swim Goldfields is saying we have taken 2 actions. Number one, on 2 occasions, they've written to law enforcement agencies to seek help to chase away the illegal miners. Because according to them, it's the illegal miners who are disturbing their territory and they are causing this havoc in terms of environmental degradation. So they are seeking on 2 occasions intervention of the police, and I think it makes it important that ourselves as government and law enforcement agencies work closer to try to intervene in this area. But I've said we can also come to the extreme end where even refuse renewal of the SG. But we take that with a measure of salt because this is a partnership between ourselves and the partner company, a partner jurisdiction, which is Belarus. But I think we need to be managing that. We agree to take note of that. If there are case of the subcontracts, then we'll push Swim Goldfields themselves to deal with the subcontracts because they still remain the people in charge and answerable to what is taking place in the area when they have a location. So I think it's a matter which we cannot excuse Swim Goldfields from. I think we need to just work with them. Then Honorable Show, you mentioned the issue of need to align. I want to put to this house that this is a matter that we've started discussing between ourselves and EMA. We have noted that even when we are issuing title, it should be the case that we issue title before we get an EMA, environmental impact assessment. Because if you want to do it later, when someone is already holding title, I think there's something which is wrong there. So we started to have discussions where we work together to ensure that we are aligned. It also comes to the issue of renewal. I'm not sure that we can really align to say the renewal for the SG is timed together with the renewal for the environmental impact assessment. But I think over time we can achieve that alignment. So it takes us to discuss with them. Then the issue of illegal miners. One issue which is a bit of worry here, honorable members, is the fact that where you have a ban, you obviously and automatically invite illegal players. Because everyone who is now in the area is illegal. We're in an area where there's supposed to be community. So indeed we have illegal miners which are there. The issue of action, this is a national issue that we face as the Ministry of Mines. If you hear this story about Makorokoza and illegal miners, as Ministry of Mines we are a bit not that empowered to deal with them. The fact that this person is not registered, I don't have power over them. He remains illegal. I cannot direct if this was not a bad area, we could say, let's go and formalize these people. Once I have the formal certificate for the person, they can invite, I can be calling that person to book. But where there's an issue like this one, it becomes a problem. So Honorable Nyati, we have this problem of enforcement, and I think we need to work together as the government to try to come up with some solutions to this. I think one issue that we see as a necessity is to enable that we have enough resources, whether it is EMA, whether it is inspectorate under the Ministry of Mines, whether it's a police, so that we undertake blitz across the country where you have hotspots like we are experiencing here. Because we cannot watch the degradation that is going on unabated. We need action, but it might take some resources for us to intervene sufficiently. Then Honorable Joe, the issue of progress. When we engaged in Belarus, they came on board and we granted them the special grant. And I indicated that the grant is for exploration, but as well as mining. So logically, they started saying we want to do exploration. And in terms of exploration, they are making progress. They have some results that they are reporting on a 6-monthly interval. There are results in terms of the mineralization in the area, gold in this instance. But what they have not done to our satisfaction is the actual mining. Yes, they claim they are on the ground, but what we see on the ground is just some small-scale alluvial mining, which is on their part. And to that, we are saying it's not what we expected. So it's an issue that we are discussing with the Zim Goldfields. Their partnership in the government entity in this, in the ZFDC. But to answer you directly, we are not fully satisfied in terms of the progress and the achievements of Zim Goldfields. To their credit, I think we can just put perhaps what they have tried to do to engage government to say, come and rescue us with these illegal miners. To their credit, when we are talking of premier area, they've also put a dam there, which I think is going to help the community and control siltation in that area. But I think much more has to come from this project, because it's an important project. They are not just in Mutare, but other several places in the country. So we have to work with them to ensure that they do deliver. On the Chinese, Honorable Benza, we cannot confirm that indeed there is a Chinese company which is on the ground. But it's something that we want to research more on, because we want to talk facts. What we are not so sure is how many Chinese companies are there and what it is in terms of their relationship between Zim Goldfields and themselves. So it's an area that we may want more research on. Otherwise, we are not quite aware who are the players in this area, unless if my PM gives specific information. But I think we still need some research for that. I don't know, Chief Kawimani, you have here. It's your pleasure.
Thank you, Chair. There is only one Chinese company that we identified, but it's not doing alluvial mining. That was the mentioned in the petition. That is doing service mining. This is the one that was complained that it did what was blasting and it damaged some houses. But the actual on the ground, the thing that was damaged was the gold pen. From what we did from my visit today, that is an incident that happened in 2022. Thank you.
Chair, maybe to just conclude in terms of this intervention, to share with the honorable members and chairpersons that we kind of have a concern in terms of the approach of the petitioners. From our analysis, it would appear they are taking a stance where they are kind of motivating or inciting the community to proceed to do illegal mining, ignoring the fact that a lot is being done inappropriately.
Point
The
of
damage
order.
to go.
My point of order, Pensek, is when a petitioner puts forward to Parliament, it is their constitutional right for us or yourselves to say it's not right. The proof of polling is in the ET. Apparently, we expected you actually to have brought a map of the area, topographical map that says the special grant lies here. The Sino-Africa mining claims is here marked in yellow. And this is where Belarus mining is. Again, in your response, yes, we are not saying because of a petition, Zimbabwe must now want to close business. No. Petitions must come, and correctional action has got to be taken by your ministry as well as Emma. So all is well. You have responded. Are you through with your response so that we give Emma a chance?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm through. Thank you.
Emma, can you please go ahead?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I will just address what P.S. Kunaka has said for some of the questions they relate to Emma and mines. I think there was an issue of licensing. Why can't we do the licensing together at the renewal period? I think it was partly answered. I think one of the issues is we are following two legal instruments that were enacted in different years. Mines, it was enacted in 1970 something. It's undergoing through amendment. Same applies to EMA Act. It was 2002 operationalized 2003. It's also undergoing through amendment. I think you are aware. So we also expect that some of these challenges that are coming from the operational challenges of the two pieces of legislation are going to be harmonized through the amendments that are going to be done. Because for us, the EIA certificate is also specified in terms of its validity from the time the EIA certificate is issued. And even in the same act, it also specifies the period of validity after the renewal, that it will be 4 months. So aligning it with the Ministry of Mines, it would mean that maybe after the amendments, when they speak together, maybe we can then be able to say they are able to talk with the same validity period. Because for them, I think the special grant has got its own validity period. So sometimes the EIA comes in between, and sometimes it can be renewed twice before maybe the special grant is expired. If it is a special grant, maybe that is maybe 5 years. Because for us, the first certificate is only 2 years, thereafter 1 year. But like what you said, we also have issues of engagements that we started.
You have questions that have been proffered to you. Please, can you answer the questions, not what the PENSEC has answered to his questions? You have got your questions, please.
Okay, thank you.
Can you stick to your questions?
The renewals and licensing, we have also engaged with the Ministry of Mines and to find a common position in terms of working together. I think our PS, Permanent Secretary, has also met, and we have also met as technical grads, and we have also started sharing databases at provincial levels. And then the issue of what frequency do you go to the mining sites? For those that are given EIA certificates, the law says we need to have biannual audits. That means twice a year. But it also depends on the nature of the activity and the type of mining things that are happening, and also the environmental issues that are also coming. I also said we also have other operational licenses. Other operational licenses, like maybe the effluent, solid waste, these are inspected on a quarterly basis. So what it means is, if the company has got effluent and solid waste, it means it's on a quarterly basis. But in terms of just general EIA audits, it's biannual. But wherever we have complaints or even issues that are arising, hotspot projects, we also increase the frequency of monitoring. The issue of tickets, are they, right, if we note violations, we either issue tickets that are penalties for non-compliance. Currently, the maximum level of fine that we can issue a ticket as EMA is level 14. Level 14 currently is 5,000 US. It can be paid at equivalence of zinc. But the 5,000 US in terms of being deterrent is debatable because depending on the nature of who is being issued the 5,000. For small scale miners, it's deterrent. But for other large scale players, sometimes it's not deterrent enough because you can issue a fine today, they can still continue operating, you issue another one. But normally there is also a procedure after issuance of a ticket. And then if there is non-compliance, we then approach police for opening of dockets. But when we then approach police for opening of dockets, they also have their process to undertake. What we only do is we submit statements. When the docket has been opened, it has to also go to the court. That is also another process. So normally, the issues that we have brought before the court, sometimes they take too long to be finalized. And at the end of the day, sometimes the judgments that are given at the courts, they are even less than level 14 that I'm talking about. So some of the companies, they then also prefer to say, I'm not going to pay the 5,000 maximum that has been issued by EMA, I go to court. So during that period, it will be an elongated process that is there where other items are also happening. So we also are empowered to, yes, to write or to save what is called environmental protection order, either to instruct the company to make corrective actions or to stop operations because of non-compliance. If they continue still, we then also approach the courts for recourse. However, our major issue now is, I think, the issue of environmental crimes in our courts. That's where maybe there is a mismatch. Sometimes when we send an issue or an offense for finalization at the courts, we also expect a deterrent judgment or even a way forward in terms of corrective action. That's why even in our proposed amendments, we are also advocating for maybe environmental courts that can specifically deal with environmental issues so that at least they can be given the attention it can, so that at least those perpetrators can be given a judgment that relates to the damage that would have been done on the ground. I submit.
Thank you very much. Co-chair, supplementary.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. My supplementary question is to the Permanent Secretary to say, maybe Muchishona, are we not being haunted by our own ghosts, Mr. Kunaka? First of all, when there was a total ban on riverbed mining, we didn't have these challenges. The challenges started in 2021 when the Belarus company started mining in Mutare. That is the first thing. This is whereby we saw other players, the illegal players, coming also to start their illegal activities. And now as a ministry, you're facing serious challenges in terms of enforcement. You now can't handle the illegal players, but you're the same people who have opened up the space for this exploitation. So my question now is that are the benefits that we are getting from the Belarus company actually outweighing the problems that we are facing today? You spoke about the benefits, and also you spoke about that you are also not impressed by the work that has been done so far when you were responding to the question by Honorable Perseverance Shaw. As a ministry, you're not impressed by the work. Why did you renew the license for the Belarus company? We wouldn't want to mortgage our natural resources, particularly the rivers. If the benefits are not outweighing the problems that we are currently facing, why should we not consider stopping, the activities that are happening? Once you stop the formal activities, it means even the illegal players would also be stopped. I would really kindly ask for your response.
Thank you very much, Co-Chair. Honorable Joe.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Yes. Njibona pakatwa joint venture between, you said, ZMDC and kuti shareholding structure yachakamira sei ndechokutanga yedu yekuzmdc. Secondly, ndaingaunzwa kuti ko mashares ari kuzmdc vane mashares akamira sei, uye zvakare zimgold inenge ine mashares akamira sei. And so far, how much was declared by ZMGC at that deal ravakaita? Vari kuprofit kana kuti vari kuminus? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Joe. Honorable?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Mine is a new question, not a supplementary. Honorable Chair, what we're talking about is a special grant that was given to these mining companies. And I would like to understand, since they were given a special grant, what special things have these mining companies done to the community in terms of social infrastructure projects, schools, hospitals, roads, and maybe just uplifting the community in the area that they are mining? And most importantly, Honorable Chair, I would like to find out how does the ministry monitor and enforce these mining companies to commit to community development projects? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. Honorable?
Maita basa chairman, mubvunzo wangu uri kuenda kuna PEPSEC kuti urongwa hupi hwehurumende kunzvimbo inenge ichimainwa kana pasanganikwa negakawa rekuti vanhu vari munzvimbo yekumainwa ivo havasi kuwirirana nevari macompanies ari kumaina semuenzaniso mupetition iyi makanzi 3 households paitwa environmental assessment meetings ndo dzakatenderana nekambani yezim goldfield kuti amainei 21 households hazina kutenderana, vachitiwo mazita edu akangoshandiswa pa-attendance register. Saka urongwa hupi hwekuti kana wagari nzvimbo iri kumainwa wasi kupindirana nezvikuitika zvigadzirisike? Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. We redirect your question actually to Emma. The Minister of Mines' duty is to administer and regulate. The EMA issue goes to a department of government, which is EMA. Again, PEPSEC, we have a question that is being actually offered to you on the agreement of ZMDC with Zimgold. We are not going actually to have it today, not to answer it for another day. So Emma, please, can you go ahead and yourself, PEPSEC, if any other question was to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairs. If I may start with the intervention by the Honorable Chair. The preoccupation of this joint venture is the rehabilitation of the rivers. And I did indicate that the starting point was going to be exploration, which the company is discharged of very fairly. I think the company, what they've not done so far is to go to the full-scale mining, which is an issue we are still discussing with them. They have to come with a plan which we endorse as government to see how they are going to go about in the full-scale mining. But in terms of addressing whatever shortcomings that we have with the company, we have kind of 4 recommendations. The first one is, as indicated by Emma, Zim Goldfields should seek the consent of the Minister of Environment for them to be able to continue with the work they are doing. That will be the ticket for them to get a renewal to the environmental impact assessment. of what is taking place there. So it's a matter, like I indicated, we're in discussion with them, and these discussions are ongoing. We want to ensure that at the renewal of the next cycle of the SGs, these things will be. The last one, we want to ensure simple traders want them to put security systems which ensure that illegal miners don't always traverse the area which is under their jurisdiction. So it's a call that we are calling and putting on the Zim Gold Fields. The last one really is not just the Zim Gold itself. We'll be calling on even JOC as a key government instrument to intervene in the area because the declaration, I think the promotions we have seen, something that needs to be addressed very soon. So call on the law enforcement agencies to work with us in terms of dealing with the illegal activities which are taking place. I submit.
Thank you so much, Emma. Our times seem to be flowing, not running.
Thank you, Chair. I would respond the questions related to communities affected, maybe at our role. I think for projects that are prescribed that undergo through an EIA process, part of the combination of the EIA process involves public consultation. Public consultation refers to engagements of those interested and affected. The purpose is to gather their views, and their views are supposed to be captured when an environmental management plan is constituted. That will then address the fears and concerns of the affected and interested communities. So during review of the EIA, when we then go to the ground for review, we do what is also called public consultation verification. Let me also point out that public consultation in most of the local authorities is facilitated by the district development coordinator and also witnessed by the local authority. So normally, when we then receive EIAs, they come with either minutes of the meetings that were held, correspondence from the DDC, correspondence from the local authority, also questionnaires by those interested and affected, and also where there is compensation and relocation. Part of the EIA process also is a compensation and relocation action plan. But however, the compensation and relocation plan is not facilitated by EMA, but it's facilitated by the Ministry of Local Government. So that is also part of the documents that are supposed to be within the EIA. So the affected communities are also represented by also the traditional leaders within the area. They are also consulted, the village heads, they are also consulted. So sometimes when there are disputes, it can be disputes related to environmental issues or issues related to compensation and relocation, where there are maybe violations in terms of the conditions, because we also issue certificate of conditions. We can also suspend the company, or we can also even cancel. The law also provides for cancellation of a certificate if there is non-adherence to environmental issues. So normally when the project then affects the communities so much that we need to respond, we also cancel the certificates by submit.
Thank you very much, Emma. You know, it has been a very good meeting that we had. Ours was wanting actually to take a pause. Yeah. What was your question?
My question was with regards what these companies are doing for the community.
I thought actually the pen said they have built actually a dam that would be used actually by the people who are resettled. But anyway, then him actually answered. And Honorable Mafumo, after the pen said is answered, can you please actually profile the question? Our time is running out. Yeah, the corporate social responsibility of the Belarusian company.
Yes, perhaps for honorable members to take note that, like I indicated, the company is not yet into full-scale mining. It has since been at exploration. But the dam that I mentioned is points into a direction where the company should be working with the community. But also one needs to say that when we are looking at corporate social responsibility, it's not something that is legislated. It's not a statutory requirement that a company undertakes social corporate responsibility. But we expect them to do that out of goodwill and also to ensure that they are giving back to the community. So I think we will expect more when the company is now in full-scale mining, because they will also be generating revenue out of that. Not at this stage.
Honorable Mafumo.
Thank you, Chair. My supplementary is on the question that was asked by my fellow honorable member there towards Emma. I wanted to know that on the compensation action plan, as you mentioned, has it been forwarded to local government, and if so, what is the turnaround time as regards to that? But just to add to that as well, Chair, bring to attention to all stakeholders here present, the situation in primary state is deplorable as of current, and I think a physical view of that place to every stakeholder in here who will actually assist these deliberations. There is totally no environmental management taking place in that place since 2009. And mining still continues to take place in that place. So all this that we are talking and the acts and the SIs, without actually a physical check of what's on the ground, will not give us something that is conclusive and that assists the community. Just this weekend, they were there again.
Thank you, Honorable Mafumo. We are not deliberating. Actually, the question has been sunk.
Yeah, my question was, the compensation action plan, what is the turnaround time, and has it been forwarded to local government?
Thank you so much. Emma?
Thank you very much. I think the compensation in the local plan is actually done with the supervision of Ministry of Local Government. Emma is not involved, but because when we talk of the EIA, it addresses a legal framework where other institutions also come in. So it's supervised and by Ministry of Local Government, and then it is then attached as part of the EIA. In terms of supervision, it's local government as well.
Thank you very much. This is why actually in the first we were saying, Emma, you should have brought in somebody from Mutare. Compensation only comes in when people have been displaced. A rehabilitation plan is what is then proffered to Emma. And the turnaround time of rehabilitation of the places that has been worked. Anyway, I want to thank you all. Is our case.
Honorable Chair, can I just pull a little string on the Honorable Mromet's question?
Please.
I think there wasn't justice on the question because we're here as Parliament of Zimbabwe and we ought to represent the people that are in our communities. And her question, maybe Emma can come in on the issues of social corporate responsibility. To say, we know, just like you mentioned, the compensation issues, CSRs, they are then attached on the EIA, the schedule you were talking about. Her question is there a provision, right, in all the laws? Because it also helps us to then make the laws, you know, for, like you're saying, we're going to be amending the Emma Act and so forth. Is there a provision in all the existing laws whereby the companies are compelled to do the CSR, what they have committed in the EIA, to say we're going, for example, to build a dam, to, you know, to do this? Is there some sort of, you know, enforcement to make sure that these companies adhere to what they have actually committed in the EIA? Because I know you don't give the EIA without also considering things like the CSRs. So please, Emma, if you can respond to Honorable Mromet's question.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think in terms of CSR itself, currently it's not legislated. That's why maybe they said they are doing this on a voluntary basis. So in terms of even monitoring and enforcement, it's a grey area. Our Act doesn't have any provisions for enforcing somebody who doesn't comply with CSR.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. It actually helps us to then, when we do our legislation process. Thank you for that clarification.
Honorable Chair, specifically arising from that concern, is an issue that we are bringing up in the new bill that we are presenting to Parliament. And it is looking at corporate social responsibility, and we want some level of community to sign up for that social corporate responsibility with the operator or with the miner. So it's coming in that bill.
Thank you so much, Pepsi. With whatever actually we have done, the time is being jealousy on our side. And we are saying, as alluded by all members, as well as Emma and the ministry, it is eminent that without going and testing actually the pudding, we haven't done anything. Deliberation was supposed to be made for the members of parliament in both committees, environmental and mines and mining development, to remain and have a resolution as to what action to take. But we might as well say we have agreed actually with my co-chair here from environment that we have to go to Premier Estates with both the Minister of Mines and Mining Development and Emma to see for ourselves. And then after that, our recommendations will also be jointly. But with you, we are a government. When we want to eat omelets, we are going to break the eggs. You can never have a fried egg without breaking it. But then it has got to be done in the right way. Eva is going to come in and do what they have to do. The ministry does what it has to do. There is no fighting. Zimbabwe is open for business. Business has got to be done in the right way it should be done, but not to stop business. I thank you. So thank you very much, our witnesses. If you could give us leave, and you will hear from us when we will be going together. We will not go there alone because we don't know the way.